When someone compliments you, do you think, that's great, that's the truth, or do you think, they're lying to me just to make me feel better? When someone gives you criticism, do you think, that person, what's wrong with them? Or do you think, they're right, I'm horrible? That's our question for today. Hi, I'm Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com, and I want you to consider what positive feedback and what negative feedback do to you personally. How do you take them in? Let me give you some examples from my life. A few years ago, when I was in seminary, I was part of a smaller church, and the Sunday evening service wasn't particularly well attended. Well, the senior pastor decided that he'd help me get some experience in preaching, so he let me take over the Sunday evening service. After I preached my first sermon, he said, "Paul, you did great. Good job." And I said, "No, I didn't. I know what you're trying to do. Thanks, but no thanks." But in retrospect, I now know that he was being genuine, that I did do a good job, that he wanted to encourage me to even try harder. But I didn't hear that. I heard, "Oh, poor kid. He's not very good. I better encourage him." But that's not what he said at all. Fast forward to a couple of years ago. I needed some money because starting a business means you often need money. So I saw an ad on Craigslist looking for a videographer. The guy initially wasn't even considering me because I'm 90 minutes away from where he was, but for a video gig, I've driven that far before, so I wasn't really concerned about it. So he agreed to talk to me on the phone. When I said what I would charge, he said, "That's not very much. You must not be very good." I should have hung up right then, but I didn't. Then I gave him the URL of some of my video work, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I can see. You're not very good. Yeah, no wonder you're so cheap." But then as we were talking, he goes, "You're so cheap. What do I have to lose? I'll give you a shot." Do you see it? Do you see what he was doing? He was saying, "You're bad and you're cheap, so therefore I have nothing to lose." And immediately I realized I could never make this guy happy. I'd gotten other feedback that I believed that said that I was at least passable, at least decent at my craft. And yet he was telling me I was horrible. So after talking it over with my wife and some friends, I decided it would be better to be poor than to take a job that I could never make this client happy with. So I turned him down. He was offended. He was very mad at me for turning him down. How dare I turn him down? It really deeply affected me because I started to second guess myself. I started to think, well, maybe I am bad at this. Maybe I am in need of a lot more work. And I've been doing this for a decade, so that's really worrisome to me. You see, for some people, you can look at whatever feedback you get with a negative look, a negative eye. So when someone says, "Ooh, you did a good job," you think, "Oh, they're really trying to encourage me, but I'm really bad." So they're really being a little condescending. But what if they're not? And with people that are mean to you, that talk down to you, that give you a hard time, you start to think, well, that's actually the truth. Your insecurity is the lens through which you look and you see everything. So think about what you're doing as a lens, as a set of glasses, like the glasses I wear on my eyes, and think what would happen if those lenses were wrong. Well, you might start to see everything wrong. If the lenses are blue tinted, everything looks blue, even though everything is not blue. If you wear insecurity as your glasses, you see everything as reinforcement of that insecurity. It busts your confidence. The other way around, if you're very confident and you feel like you've got good reason to be confident, then you see everything in the opposite light. When someone gives you a compliment, you think, well, thanks. I've worked very hard to do what I do. It's good to know that someone noticed. If you're confident, when someone says, oh, you're not very good, I can see why you're so cheap. There's no way that I would normally want to work with you, but you're so cheap that I'll give you a shot. You think, what's wrong with you? You clearly have bad taste, and I don't want to work with someone that I can never be good enough for. So I'm not going to be good enough for you. So therefore, I don't want to work with you. You see, the first time I had the poor reaction. The second time I had the correct reaction. And that's what I want you to do. When someone gives you a compliment, take it in as honest feedback. Realize the truth of it. When someone is critical of you, think about who it is and what their perspective is. Remember back at the beginning of this series, I'll link to it down in the show notes. At the beginning of this series, I talked about the different types of critics and whether you could trust them or not. Remember that there are three types. There are haters that you can never please. There are people that mean well, but they're extra hard on you because they don't want you to fail, so they're trying to keep you from even trying. And then there are people that love you and are trying to provide good advice. Those are the only ones you should listen to, and you shouldn't listen 100% of the time because they may or may not know what they're talking about. So, as you hear bad things, filter it through those three filters. As you hear good things, filter it through those three filters. And realize how you should look at what's being said. You need as much confidence as you can get. You need to grow and do the hard things. You probably already hear all the evidence to the contrary. All the evidence that says, well, you're not going to succeed. There are problems. You know all those things, so you don't need to listen to them from anyone else. But you need confidence. So do whatever you can to boost your confidence. Do whatever you can to hear the voices that say, you are good. You are going to accomplish this. I want to be that kind of voice for you because I believe in you. I believe you can go out and change eternity. Until next time, I'm Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.